Hey, what's going on everyone? Nick Corona here, and today I want to talk to you guys about ND filters. I'm sure you've heard a lot about them, especially if you're watching this video. You've probably seen all of these extremely technical reviews, and I just want to take a little bit more of a practical look at it today. If you want to know the technical aspects of it, there's tons of videos out there. We all know it's like sunglasses for your drone, but there's a few other things, and there's a few other, reasons why you might want to use it, and a few things that I'd like to point out if you're considering getting ND filters, or maybe you're just trying to figure out how to make your footage look better. The main thing for me was the way that all the white things looked in the footage, whether it be a car or a building. It was just completely too white, or what we're going to call as blown out, meaning it's just way brighter than it should be, and one easy way to fix that is with a filter. I used polarized ND filters, and that's important because if you've ever had polarized sunglasses like Ray-Bans or something like that, there's obviously a ton of brands, but if you've ever had polarized sunglasses, you'll know that it kind of cuts your vision through the water so you can see through the water better, and it actually does the same thing to the sky. So it makes your sky kind of have color tones instead of just being one shade of blue, and it does a similar thing to the water just by having the polarized filter on there, and then having the darker shades helps even more. I use the Polar Pro ones, and as you can tell from my case here, I'm missing one. And it's with my missing DJI Mavic 2, wherever that is. So RIP to the 32, which is the strength. I also have a 16 and a 4, which means they obviously just get less dark. Just to kind of show these to you guys, you can kind of see me through it, and they're supposed to be variable, which means you can twist this little ring around the edge, and it also changes the darkness a little, but as you can tell, it doesn't really make a huge difference. And I kind of wish I got ones that weren't, because there's really no markings. Well, there is a marking on here, but it just doesn't really seem to indicate much. So sometimes I adjust them, but I mostly just throw it on and go, which leads me to one other thing. Before we get started and conduct these Polar Pro ND filter tests, I'm going to show you guys exactly what they look like versus not having it. This particular Polar Pro, and I've seen other people have this problem, it does not go onto here very well, and I'm just going to show you guys really quick. Let me make sure we get focused on the drone. So see, this is threaded on all the way. It's completely flush with the piece under it. I'm going to take it off. I almost never have this one on unless it's dark out or nighttime. That's the stock one. So these Polar Pros are threaded wrong, and I've heard it's happened to other people, but basically when you go to start screwing it on, the thread's gonna catch and it's gonna screw on like halfway and that's all you get. So look at that now. See all that space there? It's pretty sketchy. Especially considering how expensive they are. It's not what I'd expect from a premium brand. I guess it's a fluke. I wanted good glass, so I paid more money for it. I guess the difference is the coating and kind of like the glass, or if maybe you get something real cheap, they use a plastic. I don't know. I wanted it to not negatively affect my footage, so I paid for Polar Pro. I don't know if this is a common issue, but just, that's my warning. I had a bad first impression because of that. I also do really like this case, but I will point out that this little magnet has already fallen out. I say already, but really I've had it for about a year now. So what I'm going to do now to show you guys exactly what an ND filter does, particularly this polarized one, is we're going to come up with 3 photos. I'm going to take 2 regular photos. I'm going to make sure that one includes a lot of sky, one includes a lot of water, and then we're going to do a long exposure photo, because that's another reason you'd want to use these ND filters. Silence, dogs. So you can get a really cool blur without everything being blown out and overexposed. The next thing I'm going to do is set up a waypoint, which is where the drone will just fly an automatic path, and we'll do that 3 times. Once with the 4, once with the 16, and then once with just the stock filter, so that you guys can see all 3 of them simultaneously and truly see the difference between having an ND filter and not. If you're considering getting one, I highly recommend it. And like, you know, I said I lost my 32, and the reason I haven't went out and bought another one right away, even though it's the one I probably use the most on a really bright day, obviously, is because the biggest difference is just having that polarization and having any amount of shade. I've been pretty happy with the 16, and if it's dark out, a lot of times, you know, I'm between using the 4 and not having one because I just like the look of it when it's polarized. I hope this helps you, you know, if you're trying to decide exactly what one you want to get. And as I said that, it literally fell off. I've never had that happen during flight, but I probably didn't get it, you know, that halfway threaded on. So, I don't know. Beware if you get the Polar Pro one. They do have a lifetime warranty, but I just hate dealing with that stuff. And like, I went and bought it and paid a premium price. I want it now. I need it. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up and put this on, and we're gonna go ahead and conduct these tests, and I'll meet you guys back here afterwards and we'll see what you think. Alright, let's go. Alright guys, we finally found a good spot out here. I'm just gonna do it off this little washway. Yeah, and then we're gonna go ahead and program a flight path right now. I'm gonna see if I can even just include the photos in on that. That would be super convenient. So yeah, we'll do that, and then we'll do, like I said, the original and the 2 ND filters, and yeah, let's go. Alright guys, I am trusting in the auto. Ironically, I don't have an ND filter on this lens, so we'll see how it does. Alright. Whoa. I just completely broke my sandal. That's why you shouldn't wear these for hiking shoes. So this is my first time doing a task like this, and it's pretty crazy because I'm just watching it go through the waypoints. I'm doing the waypoint flight. Yep. It's just gonna do it all without me. This is piloting at its finest. Oh wow, it's turning on its own. Huh. It's just whipping off. So, and there's a Mavic Mini right above me. Very effective sun shield. If you bring a sweater. So while I'm doing that, I want to talk to you guys about waypoint flights. This is a really cool automated mode built right into the DJI app. You start by just tapping and creating a waypoint. You drag your finger up and down to say how high you want the drone to be, and 1 representing the start point. I'm going to give it the action of taking a photo at the start point, and I'm going to go ahead and choose the flying direction. I'm going to make it custom. and set it to take a picture over the water. Then let's have our drone fly over to this second point here. And it looks like it's going to go to 164 feet. We're going to go ahead and choose the direction, a custom direction, to take a picture this way. That way one will have the water. They both should have the sky. We'll just leave it at a 0 gimbal pitch for now. Cruising speed, camera action, all that fun stuff. So then we'll do a third one here. I'm not sure what the cruising speed is yet. It looks like you can't go over 18 miles per hour in this mode either way. No problem. And then when we get to this third one, I'm going to have it start recording. So then I'm going to set up a few waypoints, and you can see the direction of the drone is represented, and it's just going towards the next one. And you can even tap and drag around the points if you mess them up. Sometimes when I go to tap, I just accidentally create another point, so you can drag it around, or there's another screen right here that gives you the opportunity to delete it. You can see at the top. So this is where I'm going to tell the camera to stop recording. This will be the end of our loop. So the important thing to remember to do at this point is to save the task. You can't see the tap, but I did it there. If you don't save the task, it doesn't save the task, and you have to make it up all over, and that's what happened to me, and I had to do this more times than I wanted to. So make sure you save it. You get additional settings here, which is cool because this is where you can just max out your cruising speed and it'll make the whole thing go at almost 18 miles an hour. I kind of wish it could go faster, but that's pretty safe for automatic flights. And select the starting waypoint 1 and hit go, and as you can see, the drone starts rising up and it just does it, and when it's done, it returns to home. But this is super cool because it gives us the opportunity to get the exact same photos and videos so we can compare. Alright guys, just doing the last flight test right now and gonna head in, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to carry the camera since I broke my sandal, but let's put this all together and check out the difference. Huh, 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 huh. Bro, that's so low. That's so low. What broken sandal? It's better without it. It's like... Here's the 3 shots put together. They're not quite perfect, but pretty close. I'm not quite sure what happened on our middle one here, but it looks like it was zoomed in just a little bit, which kind of threw it all off. I don't know if that's on me or the settings, but it's my first time using waypoints. Anyways, before I reveal the order, which one do you guys like the most? I think I'm pretty happy with the middle. So here's the order. They actually are in order. On the far left we have no filter, we have the 4 in the middle, and the 16 on the right. Now, if this is your first time looking at this and you're not really sure what to be looking for, one of the main things is look at the clouds. They don't exactly match because it's different, footage obviously, but look at the detail in the clouds, look at the whites, the blacks, and especially the sky. Notice how on the far right one you can see the dark blue to the light blue tones, whereas on the left it all looks more of the same shade of blue. And even in the mountain range, on the 2 with ND filters, you can see a little bit more definition in the different shades of blue, which is super cool, and also something people kind of use to determine distance, so it makes it look more realistic. As it passes over some of the grassy areas, you can notice a difference in general color tone, whereas without the ND filter, I don't know, the colors just look a little less natural to me. And look, there goes a dirt bike. That was pretty cool. And in the middle and right one, it just pops a little more. I like how the darks look, I like how the whites look, but to be completely honest with you, on a day like this with big clouds like this everywhere, you can obviously get away with no ND filter. Where it's really going to make a difference is those details that we were talking about. But I'd say I'd go with the 4 because I just enjoy what it does to the colors. I feel like I can see definition between the bushes and the greens and the sky a lot more. And I'm really happy with what the ND polarized filter does for your photos, which we'll go ahead and look at after this. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think below. Which one would you use? Also, I'm not gonna color grade this or anything. I just want you guys to see what it looks like with just the filters, and you can imagine taking it another step with color correction, and it just makes it that much better. Now let's take a look at some of the photos I took and see which one you like the most. Really, the big giveaway is going to be in the reflection of the water on these ones. So there's the 3 photos, and now let's just take a quick look at all of them together and which is which. In this scenario, I like the one with no filter. It's just not really water that you want to see through, and I think everything just looks better. I had to show you guys this one. This is a similar example, but it looks cooler with the filter because you can see into the water a little bit and you can see some serious definition in the sky. What do you guys think? So now for the final challenge, I wanted to show you guys a good motion blur photo. And this got a little bit messed up by just the fact that it was pretty bright out for wanting to do that, and I only had a 16. This is the one situation where you would want like a 32 or a 64. So this is what it looks like when you just snap a picture with no filter on, and as you can see, it looks like all the cars are standing still in time, because to make up for the really bright sun, your camera's taking the photo really fast to let in as little light as possible to make your photo, you know, a little bit darker. Well, with the 16mm ND filter, this is about the most blur I was able to achieve. Not very much, not like some really cool streaks like maybe you'd see in a nighttime photo or something with the sun going down. So if you're gonna try and do motion blur in the daytime, you would need something more intense than 16. Otherwise, without the ND filter, your photos will come out looking just crazy blown out like this one here. And that's no good. So, you know, it really just depends what exactly you want to do. But yeah, that's pretty much my overall take on ND filters. I think that if you have a drone, especially a Mavic, you should at least have one, because I know how the whites look, even if it's just a 4 like you saw in some of these examples today. One thing to consider watching this video is that there were clouds in some situations that weren't in other situations, and also this is a very dim day for Arizona. It's usually much brighter. We had a pretty low UV index today. I think it was around 4 or 5, and I'd expect to see that get, you know, maybe up 8, 9, even higher a lot of days. So that is something else to bear in mind. It is good to have a wide variety of ND filters, like a 4, a 16, and a 32. I think I would have wanted a 64 instead of the 32 just to have a more extreme range. But that's my opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think below. If I left something out that you want to know about, or a question that you had, let me know. Let's talk about it. But yeah, I think that's all for today, and safe flying everyone. Good luck choosing your ND filters. Hope this helped you out. Peace. Oh yeah, and if you haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe so we can do some more hanging out. Till next time. Peace.